The 2024 NFL Draft was absolutely insane. We had owners demanding explanations from their GM, and my favorite team, the Raiders, of course, made an excellent decision. Yes, they did not mess anything up at all. I am hungover from the festivities, but we are going to break down the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. Unfortunately, we did not have any hilarious girlfriend moments like Russell Wilson when he got drafted with this woman who thought she hit the lottery, but now we have no idea who she is. Obviously, the Chicago Bears selected the fashionable Caleb Williams at the top of the draft.
I paint my nails. You know, I wear unique things. I do unique things.
Cam Newton claims to relate to the fashion of Caleb Williams with his leprechaun hat, but I don't think Cam Newton is willing to go to the extremes of Caleb Williams. The #1 overall quarterback in the NFL draft does claim that he is better than all of his colleagues.
I'm the farthest from all of them in every single way. I can do anything and everything as I want and as my team needs.
We will see if he joins Mitchell Trubisky, Baker Mayfield, and Kyler Murray as top-notch #1 overall picks. As a Raiders fan, my dreams were completely over with the 2nd overall pick. Jaden Daniels was selected by the Washington Commanders. There was no trade up. There was no instance of the Heisman Trophy winner falling down. Remember, Lamar Jackson fell down as a Heisman Trophy winner, so it was not a pipe dream. All the pundits were talking about Jaden Daniels to the Raiders. They were mocking up different trade scenarios where Jaden Daniels could end up going to the Raiders, swapping with the Washington Commanders. But of course, the obvious happened, the thing that we all suspected happened, and Jaden Daniels was selected by the Washington Commanders. Jack Jones, former teammate at Arizona State of Jaden Daniels, current Raiders quarterback, saying, "I know that look. He ain't want to go there." So other people were able to tell that he definitely wished he linked up with Antonio Pierce. The Patriots were mocked as a trade down candidate, but that did not happen at all as the Patriots selected their franchise quarterback with the 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft, grabbing Mr. Drake May. He is now going to fill in the shoes of not necessarily Tom Brady, but definitely going to be able to fill in the shoes of Mr. Mac Jones, who is now on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Things got more predictable as the Arizona Cardinals selected Marvin Harrison Jr. as their 4th pick in the NFL draft. They get a good wide receiver with Mr. Kyler Murray. And then, shocker, Jim Harbaugh said to the media that there's a lot of good offensive linemen. Everybody thought this dude was lying, and the mother effer freaking selected an offensive lineman. So I guess we have to believe Jim Harbaugh whenever he says anything, especially since the Chargers selected Joe Alt, the offensive tackle, with the 5th overall pick. The Giants did not take a quarterback. A lot of people thought it was possible with the angry Brian Daboll, but they get a weapon for Mr. Daniel Jones, the Vanilla Vic. Malik Neighbors selected with the 6th overall pick to the New York Giants. And then you had J.C. Latham, offensive tackle for the Tennessee Titans. But the shocker, the biggest shocker in the NFL draft, came with pick 8. 3 quarterbacks were already off the board. My Raiders did not select any of them. The first round of the 2024 draft had a record high of quarterbacks selected. There were 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. The last time that happened was in 1983 when Hall of Famers John Elway, Jim Kelly, and Dan Marino were selected in the first round. So the Atlanta Falcons had a wild offseason, rejecting Bill Belichick as the head coach, grabbing Raheem Morris, and then signing Kirk Cousins to a hefty contract to be their franchise quarterback. Well, the Falcons did the obvious thing and selected Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th pick in the first round of the draft. Are you freaking kidding me? My Raiders can't get a quarterback for shit.
The Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix.
And you know your first round selection is not going well when you have to explain yourself to the owner, Arthur Blank, talking to the GM saying, "Hey, I did not pay Bill Belichick to have your ass in the building, and you're selecting a quarterback after we already paid a quarterback. Explain this to me, buddy. Your job's on the line for sure, 100%. After Michael Penix Jr. was selected, then the next best quarterback available was Mr. JJ McCarthy. After Rome Odunze was selected by the Chicago Bears, the Vikings traded up with Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets and selected Mr. JJ McCarthy to be their franchise quarterback out there in Minnesota. The Jets really got a bargain here because they traded back just one spot. They grabbed their offensive tackle Fashanu anyways, so really they did not give up much to allow Minnesota to trade up and grab this pick at pick 10. A lot of people must have wanted this pick at pick 10, or else the Jets would not have been able to trade back that easily. Minnesota had the 11th pick anyways. Why did they need to go to 10? After those players were selected, Bo Nix, the guy I wanted the Raiders to grab the entire time, was still on the board, and of course nobody traded up. Of course the Raiders did not pull the trigger to trade up and grab a generational talent and a franchise quarterback. No, they are content with Gardner Minshew at quarterback and Mr. Aiden O'Connell at quarterback as well. So Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos, right before the Raiders were selecting, were able to grab their franchise guy, Mr. Bo Nix, as the next quarterback of the Denver Broncos. Broncos now have Jarrett Stidham, a former Raider, as a backup quarterback. Zach Wilson, the former New York Jet first-round pick, as a backup quarterback, and now the projected starter. First-round pick, did not have to trade up at all, grabbing Mr. Bo Nix, the Oregon Duck, as their franchise QB. Sean Payton, we'll see what he can do with the mobile, in my opinion, and very talented Bo Nix. So the Raiders were selecting at pick 13. I can't hate on them too much. They did not trade up. All of the best quarterbacks were already off the board by the time they were selecting. No Bo Nix, no Michael Penix Jr., no chance in hell to grab a franchise quarterback. The next best guy they could have grabbed was Spencer Rattler, which I don't think you're going to use a 13 overall first round pick on Mr. Spencer Rattler. So the Raiders did what we all expected them to do and grabbed a freaking tight end at pick 13. Logan Reaver on the scene in Vegas, showing the fan reaction to the Raiders selection.
In the 2024 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Brock Bowers. So, Brock Bowers is coming to the Raiders.
Now, a lot of people projected the Jets to grab Brock Bowers as the tight end in the NFL draft at pick 10, so the Raiders technically were able to grab a 10th overall pick at pick 13. But you can always tell the truth in a player's reaction that they did not expect to get drafted by Vegas. These are the fans who could not make it to the big event, couldn't have the nice confetti and all that fancy stuff. This is how the real fans reacted. And I could not contain myself after a bunch of sake shots and some beers. God, what the f are we doing? No! The Raiders have selected Brock Bowers, the tight end. Are you kidding me? Why? You got the look on Mark Davis and Antonio Pierce's face. Were they happy about this pick here?
Look at them. Both of them not happy. Look at the coach. Mark Davis, not even happy. What a joke. What a stupid pick.
Now, maybe the camera just caught them at a bad time. I do wish the Raiders would have grabbed an offensive tackle. Fuaga was available. He was picked the next pick later by the New Orleans Saints, who have a huge need at offensive tackle. And I was absolutely pissed off that later on in the draft, about 10 picks later, the Chiefs traded up and grabbed Xavier Worthy, the fastest wide receiver in the NFL draft. So while the Raiders, who already have Michael Mayer on their roster as a tight end who was selected by Josh McDaniels in the second round just last year. They grab another tight end while the Broncos get their franchise quarterback with Mr. Bo Nix, while the Chargers get their franchise tackle with Joe Alt, and the Chiefs get the next freaking Tyreek Hill, the speediest wide receiver in the entire draft, Xavier Worthy. So I am incredibly disappointed with the Raiders' first round. However, I'm not going to act like they did not get talent. They did get a talented tight end. The GM of the Raiders, Tom Telesco, could act like, oh, we're going to have 2 tight ends. This isn't a knock against Michael Mayer.
We have Michael Mayer, who's an excellent tight end, but there's no rule in the NFL that you can only play one. We can play 2 tight ends. We can move people around.
But in my opinion, the Raiders probably don't value Michael Mayer that much if they selected a tight end with pick freaking 13. Or maybe he's such a generational talent that you have to pick the guy if he's on the board and still available.
The closest thing, maybe, I wouldn't say he's Travis Kelce, but he's up there. You put on the tape, dude, he's elite.
So I'm not gonna lie, obviously if the Chiefs grabbed Brock Bowers, then I would have been pissed off. I would be on this same exact channel saying, oh, wow, we let the Chiefs get the new Travis Kelce. But it was disappointing to see the Raiders not grab a franchise quarterback. And when you're looking at the contract situation, the fact that Gardner Minshew has $15 million guaranteed, this guy is going to be the starting quarterback of the Raiders this year. You have the Raiders beat reporter for The Athletic, Vic Tafur, talking about the fact that, hey, O'Connell's gonna have a chance to compete, but clearly, come on, can we grow up? Can we be adults? The Raiders are paying Gardner Minshew to be the starting quarterback. They didn't spend $15 million for no reason. So it's obvious at this point, Tom Telesco, the GM of the Raiders, must really believe in Gardner Minshew, did not think it was worth it to trade up and grab a franchise quarterback. Or maybe the Raiders are looking to the future and they were just going to select best player available anyways. And it's not about addressing a need right now to make a serious playoff push. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Was the first round of the NFL draft a surprise to you? My name is Wi-Fi Willie. I am hungover, but I'm still pushing through and going to be live for day 2 of the NFL draft, and I hope to see you there. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.